Hi, my name's Anthony, and I recently worked with Sheila in her Leader as Team Coach program, which is comprised of 4 sessions of group coaching, during which we engage with pre-reading material and we shared our experiences of managing and leading teams. And one of the things that really stood out for me in this course is that when you focus on and reflect on your own leadership and you begin to find your authenticity as a leader, you realize that that's in fact a source of untapped energy. And that may sound a bit corny, but I actually felt more energized for the work and more optimistic doing the work once I'd begun to really consciously pay attention to what Sheila calls, inner presence. And it's a pretty subtle thing, but if you know yourself and you know your style and your values, your interactions with people start to change and they perceive that too. And the change is really an exchange, in my view. Some of it's non-verbal. It's almost akin to kind of biofeedback. And it's about being comfortable in who you are. And that sends a signal to others that they can be comfortable too. And I think that's what cultivates a work environment for employees and teams to really thrive. I gained many different benefits from doing this course. I absolutely loved it. To begin with, Sheila introduced us to this idea of psychological safety and the discourse around that in teams. But a prominent theme in the sessions, which really resonated, was the idea of being intentional in how you lead. And for me, it was after reflecting on my values and strengths and areas for development and opportunities for growth that I was able to try and build a common language with my team to talk about how we do our work, which is really the missing piece. And it's that meta awareness that's critical for anyone who wants to optimize their productivity or their impact. And that's what my team is about in the organization I work for. It's all about social impact. And I happened to undertake a team planning process around the time of my work with Sheila. So it was an opportune time to adapt some of the learnings to benefit my team. And I decided to develop a set of core principles for how I wanted my team to have a conversation about our strategic priorities. It was nothing radical. It very much drew on the learnings in the course, but it was authentic for me because it drew upon notions that I really believe in, like being curious and inquisitorial, feeling free to experiment, adopting a humble mindset, getting comfortable with uncertainty, yielding to new ideas before you interrogate or discard them. And then when you do come to critique an idea or proposition, doing so in the spirit of constructive challenge, which really puts psychological safety at the center of what you do and into practice. And finally, it was about remembering that our aim here is to synthesize our views and appreciate other perspectives, integrate them, and try to play different roles in the discussion, not just the one you're accustomed to playing. I felt the result was an incredibly productive discussion, which helped to propel us forward towards resolution of some incredibly competing priorities that we have because we work in an environment where we're pulled in many different directions. And so now as a team, we have a solid and I would say a shared conceptual and linguistic framework or foundation to continue doing that collaboration, which is really crucial. So I would just say, working with Sheila over the 4 sessions, I felt like I leveled up. I really expanded quite rapidly as a manager and leader. And much of that was making space to reflect on what kind of leader I wish to be, how I am perceived, and whether there's a disjuncture there between those two things. And it ultimately helped me navigate some difficult things as well at work. So I'm very grateful, and it was a wonderful experience.